It's Zach from 91X here with J. Roddy Walston in the business. What's happening, fellas?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing all right. I'm doing well. It's so you're playing guitar today.
Yes.
Was piano your first instrument or guitar?
I actually started writing music first on guitar.
Okay.
And then I don't know. Then I started moving over to piano at some point, much to my family's chagrin, as far as the overall volume of a piano versus an acoustic guitar when you're writing. But
and learning too.
Yeah.
Did you have a piano in the house and you just sat down and were self-taught, or did you take lessons and get out to play one somewhere?
Yeah, I was basically self-taught. My grandmother kind of showed me some like honky-tonk kind of gospel moves or whatever on the piano.
What a great foundation to hammer away at, right?
Yeah, and then, but yeah, we had a piano. We always had a piano sitting around the house. My sister took lessons. Yeah, I was the least musical kid in our family. Like,
no kidding.
Yeah, my brother was like killing it on violin at like 6, and I was still like squeaking out wrong notes at like 15 as far as like trying to sing, and everybody was just like, "You're the worst." Like,
did he go on to play with an orchestra, or did everyone like go and have a career and they still play for fun? And
yeah, it's more for fun for them at this point. I don't know. My sister, started taking piano really early and was doing her thing, and then kind of it tapered off. And then my brother, he's a really, really musical guy. Just, I don't know, at some point just didn't stop caring as far as really trying to play, But he's one of those guys where it's like, literally, it's like, oh, here's a violin, here's a piano, here's a tuba. Like, he can play anything. It's crazy.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of indifferent about it, huh? It's like, I enjoy playing, but... Did he get burnt out maybe early from?
I think he literally suffered one of those things where someone was like, "Oh, playing music is stupid," and he's like, "Oh, it is."
No, that's a terrible.
Yeah,
who would say something like that? I guess when you put it so blunt, though, you might actually believe it.
Yeah.
Like,
so it was like
you might be right.
Somebody I think that he looked up to, maybe
clearly.
Yeah, and
did anybody ever?
But he's also a man of like very intense, 6-month-long passions where it's like, he's like, "Hey man, I got into archery," and I'm like, "Okay," and then show up and he's like shooting arrows through like rings and
through apples on people's heads.
Yeah. Like I always like fill the guys in. I'm like, "Oh, David's obsessed with this now," and they're like, "Oh,
he's got that intensity, right?
Yeah.
Just pick something up and rule it."
Yeah.
I feel rude with my back to these guys.
It's okay.
I don't mean to be rude, but you're not fond of keyboards. So much. I mean, I know that, and it's funny because a friend of mine was turning me on. She's like playing me YouTube video after video, just turning me on to some of her favorite singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
And one of them is Shovels and Rope.
Oh yeah.
And she plays me this video, and I was like, "Crap, that's J. Roddy Walston."
Yeah.
And you're hammering away on this little 2-octave chord.
Yeah.
It's a video from like a few years ago, but you're out in their yard, so I guess you don't really want to drag a piano out into the yard.
Yeah, that was like a whole crazy thing where. Basically, we've been friends with those guys for forever, like literally probably 12 years or something. And and we were in the middle of really heavy touring from the last record, and I kind of was just like, that'd be fun to like go down and shoot this video thing with them, and basically like we had a song that I thought they could kind of interpret in a really cool way, and so went down there, like, I had some people with some cameras around or whatever, but we didn't really have a plan, and it was like, well, we have 10 hours to like figure out an arrangement and shoot this thing and whatever. And
10 hours from the point you sat to rehearse it, to figure it out, and then perform it.
Yeah, I landed, and we kind of sat around the night before playing. We thought we were gonna do it in this tight little room that had a piano, and it was really out of tune, and like the cameras couldn't really get in and like shoot anything, and so like everything about the whole idea changed. And then Michael, the husband of that duo, kind of woke up in the middle of the night with like a fever dream. It was like, "Oh no, I got it, guys!" Like basically, it was like, "Don't worry, I know what I want to do." So, which was kind of the point. Like at one point, I was sitting there with them, kind of going like, "Well, you know what you guys would do if you wrote this song?" Like telling them like what their own vibe was or whatever, But yeah, it was a fun little weird experience. I mean, my thing with keyboards is not necessarily any issue with like synthesizers or anything like that. It's like when someone's like, "Hey, we have a nice piano for you," and then it's like, a crappy Casio that doesn't sound like a piano, but it's supposed to sound like a piano, not like...
those are the worst.
Yeah, so...
You show, and that probably happens more often than not in this business, because people are like, just kind of throw the Roland, like, it's weighted keys. So
whatever, just like, oh, here's this thing, and I'm like, oh, I mean, and I don't know, maybe it shouldn't matter, but for some reason it does.
Well, then it does,
yeah.
But you drag a piano around on the road, and that's a chore for the road crew in Tex, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got to, wheel the thing across the floor, and it needs to be retuned, and then loading it in and out of a, I don't know, trailer.
Needs to be retuned and gets retuned or tuned up as two different things.
It doesn't always happen.
Yeah. We probably tune the piano like once a year, and it's like always a last minute, like, oh my gosh, the last 2 nights have been so bad, we have to like get a guy here, and then then no one wants to tune that piano because it's not like a normal piano, so like the tuners show up and they're always like, what is this? Like, it's really bummed.
What is it?
It's called a CP60, so it is a piano, but instead of having the piece of wood that normally reflects the sound and makes it louder, it doesn't have that at all, and it just has pickups. So it's a completely different animal for a tuner to have to deal with. So they kind of, I don't know, they're usually really bummed out, particularly if they like show up at our studio. And I'm like, hey, we need you to tune pianos. And they come in and they see like a baby grand. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, no, not that one.
That's hilarious.
Like, oh.
I just assumed you had someone on the road with you that could tune it.
Oh, no.
Not yet.
We're running skeleton crew. We are the road crew plus Mike and one other dude. So we've been hucking the piano in and out of clubs for like 10 years. So
that's phenomenal.
One really strong muscle like right here. And one really weak one right below it.
It's probably better than dragging like a B3 around or something, though, right? Or
we toured with some bands that have those, and that's not cool. Like, those things are insane. Yeah, pretty much it's an elevator only kind of load-in thing with B3. I'm not planning on doing that ever.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys keeping the musicality in music, because it's so easy, like, these days to get like popularity as a musician with the internet and with YouTube, and I feel like so many people run out and they're more concerned with making an impact to get followers and likes, and they hardly learn how to play their instruments before they get out and play, and you guys are just committed to your craft and playing, and it comes through in your recordings and your performance, and it's just so refreshing.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, it is weird being out on the road right now, and you see like we'll play a festival, and it's like 70% of the bands are 70% computers. Yeah. You know, and
with a lot of backing tracks.
Really strange still, you know, and then people are like, these guys rock.
Yeah, like, it's just raw.
Okay.
It's funny that you even have to say that these days. Like, it's so raw and live, and they play instruments. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, the guitar's not dead.
Yeah. You guys can make mistakes. Weird.
Yeah, right. Or you don't have to play note for note. You open up, and do you open up live and jam a little bit on certain sections?
Yeah.
Right. All the time, yeah.
Bill, you want to talk about jamming?
Yeah, we jam.
You guys, but you're not a jam band. So
we're not a jam band,
that's the difference.
But there's a lot of improv that goes in to our shows, our live shows and stuff, for sure. Like I've never played the same thing twice when there's like solo sections and stuff. It's always kind of made up on the spot.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And that keeps it fresh for you guys too, and it's so much more fun that way.
Yeah, I mean, even doing what we do, being on the road, can get kind of like, you get lost in it. So I can't imagine those bands that have to put on the same show every night, like hitting cues and like, you know, whatever. I don't know. That just seems
30 years.
Yeah, sometimes. Just like sleepwalking through the whole thing or whatever. But
what are you guys gonna play today?
We're gonna play 3 or 4 songs. We'll play. Well, our record just came out yesterday. Destroyers of the Soft Life was unleashed upon the world.
I didn't know that it just came out. I feel like an ass because I listened to it and I just assumed that it kind of had already been out.
Oh, no,
talking
literally
about
yesterday.
Are playing.
Yeah, yesterday was the official release. There was like someone, Noisy premiered it like last week or whatever, but as far as officially being out, like general, you know, Spotify, etc.
Yeah, it's right there. I was listening to it this morning.
Nice. Heck yeah. So we'll play some of that, maybe play one of the older tunes. And
okay.
I don't know. Do it till people ask us to stop.
Yeah, well, they're probably already asking me to stop, so I'm going to stop and let you guys carry on. Roddy Walston in the business, ladies and gentlemen.